Welcome back to another wonderful Wizard video, and today we're going to talk about this roly-poly and what we've done to it. Let's get started. You guys have seen this before in the shop, and it is back because we had to get some parts ordered and they were on back order, so the customer wanted to enjoy the car while waiting on the parts. The parts have arrived, they're installed, and we're going to talk about what we did with this car. This is a 1994 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur 3. And it is in excellent shape. We're going to be LS swapping this Rolls-Royce to get more power and more fuel economy.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
No, we're not going to LS swapping. Actually, guys, I hate LS swaps. It's kind of like someone saying, hey, I just bought a Toyota. And you say, yeah, so did 700,000 other people. LS swaps are so yesterday, guys. It's so old. Nobody cares about those anymore. No, we're not going to swap anything on this except for part correct parts. The air conditioner is the problem on this car. There's an interesting story about it.
Car Wizard?
Oh.
Stop hitting the lady.
Oh, the story. We're back to the story.
Yes, back to the story.
The customer bought this, hadn't even received it yet. He had it shipped to him, and the shipper was loading this onto the truck, and the AC compressor locked up tighter than a drum. It just burned the belt, literally billowing smoke, just burned the belt to shreds. Obviously, the owner of this car was not very happy with that situation. Who's to blame? What all happened? I don't know. I wasn't there. But that's the story of what happened. And he's finally said, let's get this thing fixed. Regardless of what really went on, it doesn't matter. I've got to get this going. So it is actually just about done. So the belt being shredded on this didn't keep him from being able to drive the car. It was just a belt that drives the AC compressor only. So he was able to use the car. He enjoyed it and went on some cruises with his family and stuff. But now is the time to get this thing fixed. And we have bunches of boxes of stuff from England, from Flying Spares. Brand new belts, compressor. You guys know I've done AC videos before, and we'll go through it here again, but there's a whole slew of things. When this type of catastrophic failure happens on air conditioning systems, you don't just put a new compressor on and call it a day, especially on a Rolls-Royce. I actually had Magic Mike do the work. I fully trust him to work on a car like this, and he has done an excellent job. So what all parts did you replace on this thing for the AC?
So we started off with the new AC compressor, expansion valve, the receiver dryer, and a condenser.
Right, and once we got all the old parts off, we flushed all the lines and things?
Denatured alcohol.
Yep, flushed all the debris out. This is a requirement when you're buying a new compressor for most companies these days, if you're going to have a warranty, or if they're going to validate your warranty. Just like Magic Mike said, we had to go through and flush all the lines. And they will also require a new receiver dryer, a new condenser, a new expansion valve. Those types of things I didn't just come up with off the top of my head. Those are listed in the requirements for warranty claim on most compressors. Sandin or all the different other brands of compressors are out there. They will want to see receipts for those items that have been replaced, just like Magic Mike has done, if something were to go wrong with the new compressor. And if you don't have the receipt showing that those things were replaced, they'll say, bye Felicia, you don't get a warranty, too bad. So I don't want to keep you from your work. I'll let you get back to it, but thanks for showing us what you did here.
No problem.
So I'm very thankful for having Magic Mike around. He does excellent work. He gets to work on some really sweet cars. These kind of cars didn't come through a Mercedes dealership, and he's really excited to work on stuff like this. And I'm happy to train him on it. One thing that's part of the AC system that we did not replace and is not required for warranty purposes on these systems is the evaporator core inside the dash. The passages inside evaporator cores are large enough that if there are debris, it will pass it through with a flush. You don't have to pull the whole dash out. Like you guys saw on the Range Rover video previous, it was a nightmare. I definitely wouldn't want to have to do that on this car. But we flushed the whole system, the evaporator core, all the lines. Let me show you guys where all these things are at. So as you can see, it has no hood or bonnet. I guess you would call it a bonnet on this car. We'll remove the bonnet and also the plate that goes here. We also had to take the grill off, but it's back on now. to replace the condenser. This is not able to be flushed. The passages inside are so small and tiny that it is not a good idea. If there is any debris inside of here on the old one and we go ahead and throw a new compressor on, the debris finally does work itself loose in the future. It makes its way back to the compressor. You will have to do this all over again. So the next part that was replaced after flushing the system was the receiver dryer, which is down here. So it looks like a little silver aluminum can, and it has desiccant inside of it. It absorbs moisture, and it also has a filter. It filters any kind of debris. Most debris in the system could be filtered through that, but if it were to back flush the other way, after you turn your AC off, debris can go the other direction into your compressor. The next thing we replaced, obviously, was the compressor with a nice new sand-in compressor and new belt, of course. All these parts came from Flying Spares, like I mentioned. That's who I use for Rolls and Bentley. I don't take my chances anywhere else. And the last part we replaced after the flushing service was this expansion valve. You can see the nice brass and copper tubing that's in there. There is a temperature probe that mounts to the side of the line there, and some O-rings and things that get replaced there. Kind of difficult to get to, but really not that bad. Some other cars I've worked on in the past, that can be a nightmare to get to that. That one wasn't too bad. So we're still finishing up on this job. As you can see, the AC machine is still connected to the system. We're at the tail end of getting this done for the customer. Tyler from Hoovie's Garage calls this thing Angry R2-D2. He says it looks like R2-D2 who's gotten really pissed off and is shouting at you. I guess it kind of does look that way. You know, I typically don't even look at the thing that way. I usually hook it up and use it for what it's meant for. I don't really even care what it looks like. I never even noticed that until you mentioned it that one day, so it's kind of strange. But anyways, I guess it does look that way. While this is doing its thing, let's take a look at the old parts. So I apologize for all the noise in the background. It's extremely windy today in Kansas, and all my doors and everything are just rattling, so I do apologize for that. This is the expansion valve, the old one that we removed. And as you can see, there's a tiny little orifice inside of there. It's very, very, very small. If there's any debris lodged in that, it can come loose and also damage the system. It can also just plug this thing and make it not work anymore. And it's just not worth the effort to come back apart together over and over again. Just go ahead and get this done. And like I said a minute ago, it's required for warranty purposes. This is a small pressure probe that tests the pressure of the system, and this is a temperature probe that rests beside the line that we saw here a minute ago. And you know, the line's going to get really cold, so it senses that, and it can change the settings of the orifice inside of there. So that is what that is. Here is our receiver dryer. Like I mentioned a minute ago, inside of this is a hollow can. And luckily, from the factory, this had R134. It's not an R12 system. Over in England, R12 is a bad word. It's a curse word. They do not like it. Even back in the 80s and 70s, they hate it. And I can kind of see why. It's not good for the environment. But luckily, it already had that in it. Inside of here is a filter, and there's a little bag of desiccant. If you've ever eaten a bag of beef jerky and there's that little packet at the bottom, a little white packet that you're not supposed to eat, guys, don't eat that thing.
Did you learn from experience there?
No, I've never eaten one, but
Okay,
you're not supposed to eat that same little white packet is inside of here, but it's a larger one, and you definitely don't want to eat that. So that's what this does. It filters and dries the Freon. Not dries the oil, it dries moisture, as in water. Here's our condenser. There's nothing really wrong with it other than there could be possibly debris lodged in these tiny, tiny little veins, or tubes, I guess you can call them. And we are not going to risk further damage. We want the customer to be happy and their AC works for a long time, not just for a month or two. And this is also, like I said, required for warranty. This is kind of a cool condenser. I haven't seen this style before, but it's two condensers in one. They're looped together. It's kind of like a double pass condenser. It's kind of neat. I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyways, we'll set that aside. And last but not least, it is definitely the culprit of all of this trouble. Look at there, guys. The belt is still melted. It's literally welded to the pulley. It got so hot. And it's rusted from all the heat. And you cannot turn it. It's one solid piece now, one solid unit. Why did it fail this bad? I don't know. It really doesn't matter at this point. We've got an all-new system, clean, free of debris, ready to roll. As soon as we're done here, he's going to have cold AC again. But this thing, for whatever reason, while they were loading it up on the transport truck, decided to lock up. And the smoke that came out of it, they thought the car was on fire. But luckily, it wasn't on fire. It was just this. So when a customer brings me a car, really any car, and they say the AC doesn't work, the first thing I do to decide just how expensive it's going to be is I find the AC compressor, wherever it is on the car, and I do this. And if it won't move and it's seized up, I know the price just went up really high. They're going to get, just like I mentioned, all those parts I just mentioned. If this thing moves, it's very likely not locked up. What I'll do is evacuate the system, I'll pull it apart, see if there's debris in there. If it's clean, we might be able to get away with just a compressor. If just the clutch has failed, or if there's something mechanically wrong with the bearings and stuff inside of here, we can also just replace the compressor. I actually just had one in here. It was a Nissan Murano. The customer asked, "Car Wizard, can't you just replace the front pieces of this?" When a compressor is $180 for a brand new one, it doesn't make sense to rebuild the old one that you have, because by the time you buy the bearing, the clutch, and all the parts involved, and then you pay me my labor, you're almost at the price of a brand new compressor. You haven't gained anything. So it just makes sense to get a whole new unit. So that's what they got, and the only problem they had with their compressor is the pulley, the bearing was shot. And so everything's fixed on there now, and they're happy. And this will be soon fixed, and they will be happy. This thing is really, really nice, guys. Let's take a look around the exterior. It's almost brand new condition. It's really that nice. Let's take a look. So one thing that I do in the shop when I take a bonnet off or a door or whatever that needs to be out of the way and safe, if you see up there where the Jaguar flags are, the BMW flag, the Audi flag, that's an area that I call the loft. There's stairs that go up there.
Some angry Kansas wind trying to get you there, Wizard.
Okay, it stopped. What we do is we take them upstairs, we have some moving blankets, we set them up there protected and nice and out of the way, because I always have this fear that we set it somewhere beside the car, someone walks by and trips on it, it falls over, it scratches the paint. The best way for me to have peace of mind is out of sight, out of mind. It's hard to stub it or trip it or knock it over when it's not even in your path. So it's up there, out of the way, and happy. So the bonnet's obviously not here, but let's take a look around. It's got nice shiny wheels. The chrome is not separating on the wheels. Nice new Hankook tires. The body is scratch-free and dent-free. Look at the chrome and look at the way this thing shines, guys. This is like off of the Rolls-Royce showroom from 1994. It is that nice. This has the longer wheelbase. It has more room in the back seats. Let's take a look at the back seat real quick while we're here. Check out the tray tables, guys. Like picnic tables, where you can store your Grey Poupon. You can set it there while you're making your toast or sandwich or whatever you're doing. Very, very nice. I love the wood interior on Rolls-Royce. There's a little footrest that Mrs. Wizard found. As we get around to the other side of the driver's area, I want to show you something that's going to really shock you based on how nice this car is.
Talk about shocking. Look what I found here in the armrest.
Look at that phone, guys. That's so you can call the office and make million-dollar business deals while you're cruising down the road. Yes, very cool. That's cool that that's still there. And we continue on around the corner here and to the back. This looks like the car that's owned by an oil sheik in Saudi Arabia. It probably could have been, who knows? Beautiful, beautiful paint. I love this color. I don't know what you call it, gun steel gray, or really nice color. Again, no dents, scratches, or anything. But one thing I want to show you guys on the interior here on the miles. Look how many miles are on this car, guys.
150,000?
Yes, 150,000 miles on a Rolls-Royce. And those are actual legitimate miles. It's a very high mile vehicle. And yet, it's in like new showroom condition. It's amazing. So based on that many miles, it doesn't surprise me the compressor could have locked up. That's very possible with that many miles on it. But I would have thought this was a 30,000 mile car, not 150. It's really crazy. Engine-wise, this has the same 6 3/4 liter V8 that all the other Rolls has, but this has the updated systems on it. It has individual coils, one for each cylinder. It has an intake plenum now instead of the Bosch Jetronic garbage. This is a much, much better system than you would find on Tyler's Turbo R Bentley with the Bosch Jetronic and all the trouble he's had with it. This is much more reliable and easy to work with. This large cavernous area where I can fit my hand, that's where the turbo goes on the Turbo R. You can see that it's missing and they just have a U-pipe in place of it. I would prefer it that way. Even though the Turbo R has more power, it is nothing but trouble having all that stuff on there. This is the way I would have one of these cars. These are called the SZ cars. So even expensive, ultra luxury or exotic cars can have ho-hum problems. Although this was catastrophic, it's not really that hard to fix. The biggest trouble was trying to get the parts and try to get them here in a timely manner. There was a back order on those particular parts. We had to wait for a while, so it took a little while. But now we're finishing up on this car. I think one of the key things on this car that has kept it so nice is it's actually been driven and used. If you have cars that look nice like this for sale and you see that it has 17,000 original miles, most people would think, oh, that is so cool. But to me, I think, I don't want that car because every seal and everything on it is about to blow. Just like the Turbo R down there. It's low miles, but it wasn't driven, it wasn't used, and now everything's starting to bubble up to the surface as this is leaking, that's leaking. This one's been driven and it's kept the seals fresh and it's been taken care of, you can tell. Okay guys, I have a teaser for you. I'm just about to purchase a really cool car.
Wait. You found a new car?
Yes, and it is very old, very old.
Wait. Who told you about this car?
Actually, I heard about me and Hoovie were discussing looking at a couple of these different cars. And
Hoopty? Yeah, is this a hoopty?
no, it's not a hoopty.
Are you sure?
It's in good shape. You're going to like it.
You're trying to convince me.
It's going to be really nice. It's a really cool car, guys. So make sure you check for that video. It'll be coming up soon. You guys will really enjoy checking that out. The videos just keep getting better. We got more content. We got all kinds of cool things happening in the shop. If you're curious what kind of tools we use in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All my tools are for sale there. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, I recommend you do that now because you don't want to miss out on the new car that's coming. Thanks for watching.